Here are some of the worst procedures that people can actually do. Number 10, palm surgeries. You guys ready to change your destiny? Not everything is written in stone, and for Japanese men and women, fate certainly isn't. In Japan, one of the most popular fortune-telling methods is palmistry, which is the art of reading the lines of the palm of your hand. Some people would say lines on your palm don't have anything to do with actual life. But apparently, palm readers in Japan charge people money to tell people their fate. And then people try to fool these palm readers so they can get a better fate. What a time to be alive. Palm lines are basically wrinkles in your hands. If the surgeon makes an incision in your skin with a regular scalpel, it'll just heal and turn white. If you make a mark with a laser, it'll also heal and won't leave a clear mark. So some entrepreneur out there thought of a way to extend or create some of these lines in the palm. The lines on the palm have to be made with an electric scalpel, making it shaky and uneven because palm lines are never straight and regular. What an electric scalpel does is basically burn at the same time it cuts. So the result is a shaky line, just like the natural lines on your hands. Hey, whatever it takes to fool the palm reader, right? Number 9, TOEBESITY. Ever look down at your feet and feel like your toes aren't pretty enough for flip-flops? Well, me neither. But apparently there are people who look down and hate what they see. Every year, more and more people are getting their toes reshaped to a thinner, leaner version of itself, as crazy as that sounds. This is called TOEBESITY surgery, and many people are willing to go under the knife for a purely aesthetic reason. But what do surgeons actually do to those toes? When someone wants to reduce the size of their toe for aesthetic reasons, doctors will cut away some part of the tissue around the toe, as well as some of the bone. Obviously, this way, those little piggies are going to look much sexier. As you guys can imagine, this procedure is fairly dangerous. When not done by an expert, a botched operation can result in permanent complications. Number 8, voice lift. Unfortunately for all of us, aging is a reality that's going to catch up with everyone. As we get older, our vocal cords stiffen and our voices become raspy and hoarse. You can use Botox or go under the knife to look younger, but voices never lie. Or do they? The latest luxury for aging folks is the voice lift. This procedure is designed to make the voice sound more youthful by making it higher and clearer. Vocal cords work as string instruments. When air passes through them, the vocal cords vibrate and meet each other at least 150 times a minute. As they stiffen with age or illness, vocal cords vibrate less and less. So, doctors developed a procedure to bring the folds together. Voice surgery is actually nothing new. Before, it was used exclusively by patients with diseases that rob people of their voices. Now, a lot of people are undergoing this procedure in the hopes of sounding 20 years younger. Nevertheless, doctors and experts are warning their patients not to do voice lifts unless they absolutely have to. This surgery may not be the greatest option in the long run because, as time goes by, the voice of the patient can get even worse than it was at the beginning, sounding even lower and raspier. And apparently, once you get this procedure done once, you can never get it again. Number 7, leg lengthening. Obviously, there are some people out there that want to be tall. However, what about wanting to be tall to the point to breaking your legs and being off your feet for months? It's a painful surgery and expensive as well. So, how does it work really? Doctors have to break the legs in half and then install a telescopic rod into the cartilage of the bone. This essentially pulls apart the two halves a millimeter a day. In the meantime, bone and veins and muscles will have enough time to regenerate itself, only to be pulled apart the next day to regenerate again. Wow, that doesn't sound fun at all. To grow just an inch, a person has to endure this process for at least 3 months. There are some people who have grown 6 inches in height with this procedure. Just imagine the commitment level that the guy must have had to have endured this procedure for over 2 years. That's a ton of time and stress to have to go through just to be taller. But hey, I guess it's worth it for some people. Number 6, fecal bacteriotherapy. You guys ever hear of fecal bacteriotherapy? This procedure consists of fecal transplantation from a healthy patient to a patient that's sick. Yeah, this really happens. But why would anyone ever want to have a procedure like this? Who wants someone else's poo inside their body? Well, in a healthy body, there are trillions of bacteria that's living in the body that help us out with many basic functions. As gross as it sounds, we do need that bacteria to live inside us in order to survive. Our bodies benefit from the bacteria as much as they benefit from us. But sometimes we get parasites or infections that decimates the existing microbiota in our body, or in other words, the good bacteria inside us. With less of the good bacteria, this means that the parasites get stronger and the bad bacteria have less competition for resources and our bodies get weaker. So this is where fecal transplantation comes in. Doctors introduce healthy colon bacteria in the infected body by a colon enema or a gastric tube or even a frozen pill. FMT is a highly effective treatment for many different colon infections. There are infections that simply can't be treated any other way. The good news is, as bad as it sounds, fecal transplantation is supposedly not painful at all, just tough to think about. Number 5. Facial hair transplant. Beards are probably the fashion trend that's had the most staying power in the last few years. Who knows who really brought back the beard, but I'm going to hand it to the hipsters as the ones who brought beards back into fashion. Beards are now everywhere, and hey, that's prompting some dudes who can't grow one to want to get one. Don't let biology stop anyone from getting a beard, right? Modern medicine has developed a method in which hair can be implanted onto facial skin. Essentially, hair follicles are taken from the back of the scalp, where hair is the thickest, and implanted into areas on the face where there aren't any hair. Pretty simple, right? The procedure involves minimal downtime, and the actual time for the procedure itself depends on how much hair is needed to be transplanted. Once the procedure is over, the hair falls out in about 2 weeks. But after that, new hair grows in, and boom! There's a nice new fancy beard for anyone that wants it. Ah, the miracles of science. Number 4. Eyelash transplants. Thousands of women around the world use extensions for their eyelashes every day. Many women even feel naked when they don't have lashes on. Truth is, lashes give faces symmetry, and without them, people just sort of look odd. Putting on glue and fake lashes every day isn't a fun thing to do, however. So, modern medicine came up with the solution to everyone's problems. Just like there are beard transplants for men, there are eyelash transplants for women. Eyelash transplants work just like any other transplant. The doctors remove hair from the back of your scalp and then put it where eyelashes normally are. After a couple of months, biology and science will have done their magic and the patient is going to have new eyelashes to enjoy. However, just imagine the number of times the doctor has to poke the person's eyelid with a needle, though. Yee. Number 3. Veneers. Ever want to have teeth as white as possible while being able to have all the food and drink that stains teeth? Getting porcelain veneers are essentially the only way you can literally have your chocolate cake and eat it too. Veneers are basically a tooth-shaped and, of course, tooth-colored layer of material that's placed over a tooth. It covers up the imperfections that a tooth might have. If someone's teeth are misshapen, beyond typical repair, dentists usually recommend getting veneers. There are a few different types of veneers, and the most popular type are composite and porcelain veneers. The composite veneer is the cheaper and easier option. When you get this, a resin is applied directly to your tooth, kind of like a nail polish. The dentist waits until the resin is dry and then shapes the tooth. However, this type of veneer lasts only around 5 years and isn't resistant to stains. The other type of veneer is the porcelain veneer, which is much more durable but much more expensive. It also involves shaving down of the teeth in order to fit the veneer over the tooth. To be honest, anytime any procedure involves cutting or shaving body parts that isn't hair, I'm gonna be a firm no on doing that procedure unless my life depended on it. Number 2. Belly button surgery. Who doesn't want to look like they're at their prime of their life? Everyone wants to basically stay looking forever young as long as they're alive, right? Plastic surgeons keep developing new and even more radical procedures to make every inch of a patient's body look like they're 20 years old again. And that's how belly button surgery came to be. Somehow, some way, this procedure is popular among both women and men. Personally, I couldn't care less how my belly button looks, but then again, maybe my belly button just doesn't look old. I don't know. Belly buttons are basically round scars, and what doctors do is open your belly button and reshape it. Some people not only change the way their belly buttons look, but also where they're placed. You want that belly button higher or lower? Don't you worry, belly button plastic surgery can fix that for you. However, people who've undergone this procedure say it hurts a lot afterwards. I'm pretty sure this is a hard no for me as well. Number 1, hemispherectomy. I'd like to say you've probably heard about this one, but the truth is you probably haven't. Hemispherectomy is a very rare, and as you can imagine, a very painful procedure. People who endure hemispherectomies are usually patients with very serious seizure disorders. You can guess where this is going, right? Well, a hemispherectomy is basically a dangerous surgery in which half the brain is removed from the skull. It may sound like it's something that's almost unbelievable, but it is a procedure that's rarely done. The operation is a last-ditch effort for patients with very extreme epilepsy. Kids who endure hemispherectomies are the patients who are most likely to recover successfully from this procedure, since children's brains are still growing and shaping themselves. Their brains can heal and make up for the parts they've lost. Unfortunately, adults lose this ability as we get older. Adults who get hemispherectomies have a harder time recovering and adapting to normal life. As brains are still mysterious things to medical experts, we still don't know the exact results to be expected after hemispherectomies are performed. After the procedure is done, some patients have trouble with math, while some others have trouble with language. It all depends on exactly how much of the brain is removed, and as crazy as it sounds, this operation isn't an exact science. Here's what's next.
Despite its efficiency, there are around 500 deaths in the US alone from acetaminophen overdose, the main ingredient in Tylenol and other similar drugs. Now, I'm not saying acetaminophen is just something you shouldn't take. Actually, if you take it as instructed, it can be very helpful. As with anything, moderation is key.